In this video, we are going to continue with revision exercise 7, and this example will just be linear programming. You will find this on page 342 in the Namibian Ordinary Level Mathematics textbook, Y equals mx plus c to success. Now, before I'm starting with this practical example, I want you to take you first back to page, and I'm writing it here, to page 328. Because there's a nice summary how we approach things like this. So let's just go documents, and I must search for it. Just want to check. Next one. Okay. I want you to check how we do this word problems, because this is very important. And I want to show you what parts you can already do and what parts I'm going to help you in this example. It's also good that you maybe check the block again and do one after the block, and I think there's a video also on this. But there's 4 steps. So the first step will just to take the word problem and to find your inequality. So this I'm going to practice with you now. Okay. The second step is to draw your straight lines. That you can do. We did it in the previous one. So cuts the x-axis, make y0, cuts the y-axis, make x0, and if it's going through the origin, use a table. Then shade the unwanted region. That we also did in the previous video. But then the last one. So this is the 2 I want to especially focus on in this next example, is after we find the required region, then to find either the maximum or the minimum point. Okay, let's start. Okay, so if I look at this one, a new private school has X day students, and I always underlining if I start reading. So it's X day students and Y boarding students. Okay, let's just go. Okay. The fees for a day student. Now, don't forget, days is X. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use different colors. This is the boarding students. So the fees for the day students is 6,000. And the fees for a boarding, because they pay more, they must eat. Okay, so that will be 12,000. The school needs at least, and there's a very nice list, and now people who's good in English, they don't need it. But people, if you struggle a little bit with English, then it's good to memorize this list. So if they say at most 10, then it's smaller and equal. At least 10, like this one, bigger or equal. A minimum of 10, bigger and equal. A maximum of 10, bigger. Not less than, bigger or equal. Not more than. Just be careful. More than is bigger and less than is 10. So if you struggle a little bit with the English and you don't understand it, then just memorize that list. It's going to help you. Okay, so I think that was at least the previous one. I think it's that one. Okay, but let's just go back. The school needs at least, do you see there? And I want to show you. Let's just take another color. The school needs at least this one. Okay, now usually they will help you to write the inequalities. Now, what I always tell students is they will give you a condition. So they will say, for example, in the book, it's jackets and suits, and it takes 5 hours of cutting and 6 hours of sewing, but it's so as soon as they give you a condition, so the condition is cutting, then you make a inequality out of cutting. And if they say sewing, if the condition is sewing, then you make an inequality out of that. So in this one, and then I think in the exam they are going to help you. They usually will let you they help you to identify that condition. So they say show that the information can be written. So this condition was all about the cost. So if I must go and I must write something for this, it's just going to be all about the cost. Okay, so then I'm just going to say, okay, show that the information is written. So I say X, so it's now going to be 6,000 and I don't know how many students, plus, and y will be 12, no, I want to make it blue, 12,000 y, and then if they say the school needs at least, so it's all about the money, so at least, so it must be bigger or equal, like the 2, otherwise it cannot exist. It's quite a lot of teachers to pay also. Okay, then if you come to this sum, now we're just going to simplify it. And how do I simplify? I just say I divide by 6,000, I divide by 6,000, and I divide by 6,000. And then I will get my value of, then it will be x plus, and here comes my 2y. And if I divide that, and I divide, and I just want to check, I have an answer here, but say it was, just get your zeros correct, 7, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, divide by 6, 1, 2, 3, and that is 1,200. And that's what they got. Now, I want to tell you, if you struggle in the exams to get this, just move on. Maybe you can get B. They are giving it to you so that you can at least draw the graph, even if you don't know how to find that. Okay, and then now I'm going to B. The school has a maximum of 900 students. That means that there's not enough classes that it can be more. So that means if I take X and I take Y, it's now the hostel as well as the normal school day or the day students. It must be smaller and equal to 9. It cannot be bigger, then there's not enough classes. Okay, so that's my second inequality. So this is my first, this is my second. Can I just tell you, how many lines do you need? How many lines do you need to form a close area? You need at least 3 lines. You can have 4 lines, but at least 3. So basically, I need another one. So they say copy and draw the grid, or I must say, I think I need the other one because this is my one. I'm going to have actually this 2 axes. So copy and draw it and write down the letter which represent. So it's like X will be bigger and Y will be bigger. So that's the other 2. It can form that this axis is going to help me. Okay, otherwise you need 3. But in this case, I think they're going to use the axes also. Okay, so let's just go on. And now say copy and draw the 2 lines on the grid. Now, if I want to draw this line, okay, there it is. So if I want to see, I'm taking this white, when it cuts the x-axis, make y equals 0. So it's going to, and make it an equal sign because it's a straight line. Okay, let's just concentrate. So it's x plus 2, 0. And that is 1,200. So it cuts the x-axis at 1,200. And it cuts the y-axis then you make x 0. Okay, and now it's just going to be 0 plus 2y. Make it always an equal sign if you do the drawing. Draw the lines. Divide 2, so y is equal to 600. So it cuts the x-axis at 1,200 and it cuts the y-axis at 600. Oh, now I must make it bigger that I can see that scale. So if that is 9, okay, let's just see. Okay, here I see the line. So I think this will be 800. And so I can go off. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes your graph will be better. I just have to make it big so that I can see it nice. Oh, there it's better. So, okay, so let's see if it's working out now. So this is going to be 100. 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. Okay. And now it's going to cut there at 600. And if I draw that line, and what color was that line of mine? Let's just go a little bit smaller. Okay, so that one will just be, what did I do? Oh, that was white, and I don't think white will work. So let's keep to the red. I need a ruler. Always with a ruler. There's your line. Okay, and then the next one. Now, can you remember I said to you in the previous video, and please remember this, it's really going to help you. So if it's x, it cuts the x-axis at 900, cuts the y-axis at 900. Okay, so now again I need this scale. So if it's always 1x plus 1y, you can just cut both axes on that. Okay, I'm going to again make bigger. I just want to find that. So I think this will be 1100. This will be 900. This will be 800. Okay, then I make it smaller. Okay. And it's 900 and 900. And I'm just going to, that was green. I think it's good going to work. So there is my 9. Oh, just going to make it a bit bigger again. You will not struggle. You have a nice graph paper. Okay. Or if it's your own book, you can even do it in the book. Okay, so green is going to be at that 900. And that's not a ruler. I'm looking for my ruler. There's my ruler. The best is to start here. This one is a bit more challenging to see. Okay. And now, because this is also going to be used, I cannot have no students or no hostile students. So I think this is why it's a practical type of concept. You must say that x must be bigger than 0. Can I just put it there? X must be bigger than 0 and y must also be, it can be 0, but y bigger than or equals 0. Okay, cannot have negative. So let's just go on. Now I think they will come to the shading. So I'm just going to, so copy and draw the lines on the grid and write the letter R. Now I'm going to just do the shading. Now look, this is bigger. Now let's focus. My line is now going to be red. Just make sure you focus on this correct one. So bigger is up, smaller is down. And if it's bigger, this is my wanted region. Do you see here? Okay. And I shade the unwanted region. So I want the bigger, and I'm going to shade the smaller. And it's from my red line. So just make sure that you are focusing on the correct line. And then this one is smaller. So look at my green. Down is smaller, up is bigger. And I want the smaller, so I will shade my bigger. Okay. And now, and as I said to you, that 3 points. It was the first one to write down the inequalities, then to draw the lines, do the shading. That was familiar to you. But now, always, why did you do this drawing? You were doing this drawing to find an outcome. And this last step, number 4, is the outcome. So just read the question. What is the least number of boarding students at the school? Okay, so I'm just going to, the always will be, the extreme values will always be at the vertices. So if I'm going to write down my vertices, I'm going to make it a bit bigger that we just see it. Yeah, I think I'm first, and then I'm going to, and then I will copy it. So what is going to be my vertices? Okay, so it can be, remember that it's 0, do you agree? And 600. Okay, so only a hostel. It's not nice. Okay, or, so it's this one. Or it can be this one, that it's 0 and 900. Or it can be this one, that it's going to be, and I must just find that one. So it's 800, it's 700, it's 600. So it's going to be 600, and then it's going to be 300. Okay, so that is my 3 points. That will give me the extreme values. The middle ones will give me middle values. Okay, now I'm making it just smaller to find. So every time I'm just going to say least number of boarding students. Now, if I'm just looking at the boarding, so I'm just, usually here comes an expression like x plus y, but in this case it's not. Go to the chapters and you will find it there. But now they just want the least number. So if I'm looking here, there is 600, there is 900. Don't forget that the boarding students is this one. And what will be the least one? So therefore, least, I want to rather write it here and call it number D. Least number of boarding students is 300, and it's showing you this one. Okay, if they said the maximum of students, I think it would have been also this one. Then it would be x plus y, and then it will still be that answer. But it's very nice if you go, even if you just do the blocks in the textbook, but look at a few examples of this practical. It's really not that difficult.